a ton to get through today. There's a ton to get through. Artist Journal, October 1st, 2022, Berlin. My name is Adrian Pocobelli, your artist reporter, who's going to give you a whirlwind tour of what has been turning my head in the last 24 hours. And so welcome back. Thank you for inviting me back into your life for another time, and welcome to all new people. Very interesting work here. Let me just quickly do some housekeeping here. So yesterday's show, someone put a very important comment, Undi, because I was bringing up this whole hen reunion thing, and is it exclusionary, right? And so Undi posted this tweet from earlier. Hen reunion is open to everyone, no matter when you join the Tezos art movement. I like how he calls it that. This is a celebration. No one is excluded. There are no gatekeepers. To me, it's about fun and spreading the love of creating art. So let's just assume the best then and go with that. And just like the reason, and actually I've seen newer artists post as part of it, so it's all good. And the art that's coming out is amazing, actually, as we're going to see. There is some spectacular works that are coming out here as a result of this hen reunion, so all good. I guess the reason I bring it up, though, is the contemporary art world, like the gallery scene, the trad art world, is really a culture of exclusion. Okay, it's all about kind of this one-upmanship. Are you somebody that can help me? I have a friend who just got back from New York, an artist friend, and he was saying how, it's great to be back in Berlin where it's a little more chill and we actually talk about art. Over in New York, it's like every conversation I was in was this kind of like people trying to find out if you can help them or not and whatever. And that's kind of what makes New York tick, and whatever, that's fine. And I'm sure these are massive generalizations, but all to say, when you go to these contemporary art galleries, even in Berlin, of course, it's kind of all about like, are you going to the dinner afterwards? Were you invited? And are you a person? Are you a somebody or a nobody? And this whole thing. And again, it's a culture of exclusion. And, or like even worse, people who will just ignore you. I've said hi to people and they just pretend that I don't exist. That's happened to me like 3 years ago, pre-pandemic, prominent curator who I knew, who I'd had several. So all to say, as soon as I start to get a slight whiff of exclusion and culture, my antennae go up. So that's why I bring it up. And here we're getting some clarification and all is good. Okay. And it's something that just finally, this is human nature. As I say, this is anthropology. In the world, there will constantly be someone and it'll go on this is why war will never end, because there's going to be some dude or dudette out there who is going to be trying to assert control over everybody. Okay? It's human nature. It's the pecking order. And so that is why, and part of what makes Tezos, even over Ethereum somewhat, so great is the openness. So all good here. And thank you for the clarification. And, again, assume the best. And I'm sure people are just trying to have fun, and people are having a lot of fun. So let's just go with that and move on. Okay. Thank you for the sale. Made a nice sale for 30 Tezos yesterday to Uda Museum, a remix of this Raphael Madonna. I like to put out a few remixes of the originals. I think I brought up the original here. So these are the masters. I tend to put them, what I'm doing is I'm putting the masters on Ethereum, and then I put the remixes on Tezos, and I kind of like that. Because to put, this sold for $50 basically, 30 Tezos for a one of one. It's almost, if I start putting it for $50 on here, so it doesn't really make sense. So I really like kind of doing both. Again, this kind of cross-chain, almost platform agnostic to a certain degree thing. So again, Uda Museum, give them a follow. They have a really nice Twitter. Did I bring it up? I did. Yeah, they have a really nice Twitter where they, post works and why they like them. So Uta Museum with a T, Uta, give them a follow. You know, they isolationist and on and on. So, and we love this work over here by Tesarev, Gabriel Tesarev. So anyway, thank you, Uta. What else do we have here? See, this is just another mix. Okay. Is that everything? Okay. Important just on this cross-chain idea. William Robert McBride, subscribed to Artist Journal. It's great content. Thank you, Robert, or William Robert McBride, documenting the NFT landscape in both ETH and Tezos. And I think that's great. And I'm glad you like that. And even rings some bells. It's like, maybe I should even have a bit more ETH on. The way I'm doing it now, just to keep it simple, is if we see something really interesting on Twitter or on Ethereum that just kind of crosses my visual field, then why not? I don't think we should be, purists about this stuff. It's about the art, right? Not the chain. Speaking of which, this is on Manifold XYZ Ethereum. Get your latest Savage Sword of Pepe 5. If you have an earlier one, any holders of previous parts in the story are welcome to claim, and very, very, very cheap here for a few bucks. So very cool work by Purple Drank. I am happily collecting all that. And Red Rum is on Form Function on Solana here. So just wanted to point that out. So just wanted to take a look at this really interesting painter that we've never seen before, that I've never seen before. Jan Lucas Migone. Flesh, Skin, and Chrome under Skin and Bones collection. And hard to say, I assume this is digital. Hard to say, I assume this is digital, but I don't know for sure. If this is done with brushwork, it's amazing. And I think, like with real brushes, I don't think so though when I see over here. So it looks like a digital work. Really nice. Grabbed my attention. You can see some of the other ones here. Let's just see. Human art. The human art. And you see also digital works here. A little risque over there. So very interesting. It kind of reminds me of Francesco Clemente. If you know that 1980s, he was kind of really big in the 80s. I would show you his work. I actually looked. I couldn't find the works that are in my mind. These don't look like what we were just looking at. But there are some Francesco Clemente works that are really reminiscent of, I couldn't find them, interestingly, but that are really reminiscent of some of these. Another new artist, kind of similar, Sariza Kojima, digital illustration, joining Picante event, so another event. Just a cool looking work. So just kind of, again, something to turn our heads a bit. Edition of 20, selling for 5, minted yesterday. So still available. Interesting. You can see some of the other work over here. I don't know if you'd call that like an anime thing or something else. Here's a bit of almost a Hokusai tsunami coming in the background on this one. Edition of 1. Let's just see what it sold for. Just get a sense of her market. Auction for 25. So she did well here. Really, really nice work here. 1 of 1. Okay. So another kind of Japanese woodcut style artist. And now let's go over to some of the works that we're seeing at the Hen reunion. Okay, this was probably my favorite. I thought Spiegel's Maskinen may have won the day. Let's see, it goes all weekend. Let's see if this works. I missed it by like 10 seconds again, maybe 2 minutes actually, but what an awesome piece. Like there's so much going on here, right? Like a briefcase going down a mall escalator. I love escalators, I don't know why, I just find them very poetic. Abnormal escalation. And this is part of a series, I think. Like, it's kind of weird. He's kind of set up a separate wallet here for this mall series, Abnormal. But anyway, an awesome piece. Let's move on. Tradscape put out a really nice kind of pixelated work. Let's just go to the top here. So we won't play the whole thing because it goes for 1 minute and 20 minutes. But just another mysterious work by Tradscape. Always surprising. As I like to say, the hallmark of good art is unpredictability. There is nothing worse than when you're listening to a song and it's the first time you've ever heard it and you already know what the next lyric is going to be, or like you know the word and you predict it right. That is predictable. So Tradscape keeps things unpredictable. Again, for me, the hallmark of good art is unpredictability. It keeps things exciting, surprising, etc. So really cool work. And I'm pretty sure he makes the music there. Interesting work by Sabato. Just kind of a lot of things going on here. Some AI with a drink thing going on. Guaranya. So kind of a pixel art meets AI thing going on, so which is also interesting. Sabato's always interesting. Tamo Acqui Agora. So yeah, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, but I picked one up just because I thought, again, this is the kind of work you could just find walking into a contemporary art museum and you'd be like, yeah, that completely looks like it should be here. A work by, so this is all Henry Union. So, it's impressive. So Kristen Roos, a very nice pixel work. We'll look at the market here in a second. Let's just see. So buy for 47. Let's just see. There's only one, and it's sold for 12 in an edition of 25. So, okay. So Ultra Deluxe using Deluxe Paint 4. I notice this is a popular one. Sabato uses that too. I've never heard of Deneba Ultra Paint. So again, this is kind of the retro tools category, which is important. This was an awesome piece. Another work I missed. Let's just maximize. This is by Marcelo Pinel. Sounds like the pineal gland here. Now, tell me what this reminds you of. Okay, so no music here. Is this a GIF? Like, we'll have to look. I don't think so. I think this is a MOV or something. It's a lot. Okay, hopefully this doesn't crash the mic here. Like, look at how beautiful this is. And some mushrooms. I mean, maybe a lot of you, I think I know the reference to this. MP4. Okay, so this is a movie. Yeah, to do this as a GIF would probably be a huge amount of stuff. Tell me if you know Alex Gray, Theologue. I saw this the first time I went to New York City in like 2007, which is quite a while ago. And Alex Gray, who's probably the most famous visionary artist, as they're called. Let's see if we can get a proper rendering here. This work was up. He used to have a place in, what is the gallery district called? It's escaping me right now in New York between 15th and 25th is that the east side? I think it's the east side. It's like super famous. Anyway, the name is escaping me. He used to have a Cosm show. We went to a party there. Like, it was like a public party that anybody could go to. And this work was on the wall, and it's huge. So you see the, entheogenic garden. And of course, Alex Gray is big on the hallucinogens. So this is just spectacular work in person. A lot of Alex Gray's work, if you get the chance to see it in person, it'll blow your mind. This does not do it justice. Okay, so you can see, I think there is a direct influence here. Theologue. So very cool, but nicely done. I mean, made his own. Again, the panther here, shamanistic, panther and all this stuff. So just a beautiful, beautiful work. You see the mushrooms here. Now you have to pay 123. So this was a popular work. Again, just sold out like right away for 32. So yeah, Marcelo Pinel, who's also moved to Ethereum as well. So just doing both chains seems to be the model, right? It seems to be the model. If you need to get on Ethereum, it's not hard with Foundation. Like basically, if you're on Foundation, you have 10 invites that you get these days. So if you put out a request on Twitter, you can probably get a Foundation invite pretty easily. They've kind of loosened the gate there, which is really smart, because now you're seeing Tezos artists are on Ethereum and usually on Foundation, because it's just the most hassle-free way to do it, right? You can just do it in a day with one little tweet. So a new work by Levon, just some digital painting I thought we could look at. Kind of a steampunk vibe here. And if we look at what previous works from Levon, we were just looking. See, remember this one with the gas mask? You know, this kind of interesting déjeuner sur l'herbe type thing with a laptop. Okay. You know, this had the Bitcoin Nakamoto reference in here. Again, remember this? Okay, so, you know, NFT biker, Shilly Preston. So he has a new one. Okay, and it's at auction for 150. Let's just see when this finishes. 12 hours. Okay, so if you're interested, go today. Turamza, who is also a digital artist, has this really interesting, unusual work with Rat Cloaksy and Miles Davis. So just with kind of like an old 1960s poster here. So kind of just a strange work, and kind of the darkness that you get with Rat Cloaksy here with the noose. I shouldn't laugh, you know. You never know out there. And the gun and trumpet. Portrait of Rat Cloaksy and Miles Davis standing at the door on 1701 Kansas Avenue, East St. Louis, with their gigs poster. So just a really unusual work, already going for 75, so that was popular. Sold out really quickly, like in 5 minutes. Wow. Listed at 10:15 Berlin time, sold out by 10:25. Okay, at 11 Tezos. So good job, Turamza. And just for those that remember this, yeah, he put out, we covered this work a few weeks ago now. So maybe you remember this. For V is for Vanguard. So this is when Vanguard started. A really cool still life. So just a really interesting digital painter. Yeah, I picked, and this one, finally. I love this work. I picked this work up. I love it. I think it's just a really beautiful still life. Again, what looks like some sort of sex toy here. So contemporary, you know, some contemporary cigarettes with the warning on. This looks like some other toy that I don't even, you guys can explain to me what's going on over there, but just a beautiful work. Modern airplane ticket. Let's just look at that. Air France, very, very cool. So I love this work. So there is the latest. And some more digital painting. Bazaya with just a preview of what's coming. Floral Flow, a new collection is coming soon. Don't sleep. Wish everybody a nice weekend. Always interesting to see what Bazaya's up to. Some mushrooms coming out of the head. Very interesting. And Rat Cloaksy's work has sold to a fairly prominent collector here, lucrafund.eth. So congratulations to him. His first just acquired Rat Cloak's Genesis piece on Foundation, Paradilypse. Phenomenal color contrast with Eve looking like the female Nightcrawler. Yeah, that's interesting. Interesting. So congratulations. I think it went for something like 0.27, I believe. So a nice start there, a great start. I don't want to get that wrong. Let me just see if we can get the actual... Can we get it? Here. Don't want to get it wrong. Yeah, 0.275. Okay. So there it is, last sold. So congratulations, a very cool work as usual. And another painting, Quila Nina has, so this is again back to, you know my bias against physical works as NFTs, but that doesn't mean we won't cover them. Because again, Quila, her scene seems to be mostly on the NFT scene, but who knows? I don't know anything really about her life. So maybe she's huge in the galleries too, for all I know, but she's a really good artist. So it's a joy just to cover what she's up to. And she's got a strong collector base. Luz y Alimento. And so you can still pick some up here. A brand new work minted this morning. And they're already starting to sell pretty quickly here. So off they go. And a new work by Dan Control that just kind of turned my head. I don't cover all of them because if I covered everybody's everything, it would take too long, but just heads up there. Morlacos finished this work. Again, it was a Bitcoin work, I'm pretty sure, as part of this Rare Pepe. So he's done some really cool stuff. Love our XCP journey. And again, this is part of this Rare Pepe's thing that I haven't really covered. It's like a whole other world. You could do a whole video podcast about it. But I do like to follow Morlacos and his Ladders in the Sky, which I absolutely love. And here you see some Pepes down here. The medieval vibe, very cool. I missed this Ed Marola, and I just thought it was poetic, this torch. Maybe we can get some audio here. Perhaps. It's got some really nice audio, but it is not playing, unfortunately. Yeah, so we'll leave that. Maybe it'll start playing in a second. Also an auction from Freaking Hell, so an AI auction. I missed yesterday's, so did we got a comment yesterday on missing the auctions here. So just another AI work. And this is actually another thing I want to point out. This is another tool that I'm starting to see all sorts of posts about, Stable Diffusion. So there's Midjourney, there's DALL-E. There are several AI tools, and Stable Diffusion is another that I'm just starting to hear about. Are we going to get volume? I don't think we're going to get volume here. Too bad. This torch work by Ed Marola is really cool, and it's got some interesting music with it. We'll let that go. And finally, just another thing on this publishing tip. The Tickle issue, weekly magazine for contemporary art and creative writing. So this is a PDF that is being sold on the blockchain. And it really makes you wonder, is this the future of like magazines? I don't know the answer to that question, but it does make you wonder. It just seems like, put it this way. The reason I bring this up is I haven't thought about buying a magazine for maybe years. And this is the first time in my mind that I have actually considered buying a magazine. Okay, and that's why I say, maybe there is something to this PDF on the blockchain idea. Maybe, and with some prominent, Sumi Ray here, some prominent Tezos artists. And then I thought I'd just show us this to close, because you know how another one of our many debates, how I talk about how the TV as a display versus the screen. So here, I guess our volume's back. You'll see, so they've repeated the image across screens across the whole way, but you see the power of the screen is what I want to point out. Like, a big screen is a powerful thing. Imagine this on TVs, and now look at this, and you just go, oh. Now, there are different ways you could use a screen, but I'm just saying, like, look at how good that works. So that is X Collabs, and not exactly sure what's going on here, but X Collabs posted this, and I thought, ooh, that looks really great. So anyways, with that, thank you for joining me once again. Until next time, take care.